Whew, it is good to be back. All right. So, folks, this is your Eden's resident Beastmaster dude, Ashton, coming at you live on a Thursday night here in the United States. And it's been a little while since I streamed. There's been a few things sort of going on in real life, and if you've been checking out the channel the past couple of weeks, you'll definitely have seen a lot of Rocket League and a lot of D&D happening, and I just haven't really been able to get to my PC to be able to stream on Thursdays, but I am back, and hoping that we can do a couple of things tonight. I do not have an extensive agenda or anything written out this week, unfortunately. So actually, these to-do list items, I'm going to take that off because that's kind of a lie. I don't really have a lot going on. Just sort of randomly helping out some Link Show members, do a variety of things, from limit break quests to getting coffers, whatever the heck that they kind of need. And it's been good. It's been a good time. So right now, we just finished getting a bomb call for our member Slayer here, so he can do LB1 sometime when he hits 50, which is going to be pretty soon, since he's already 49. So congrats to him. We got him his bomb call, which is the last item that he needed. And we're going to be doing some other stuff too. I'm getting a question on... Getting a question here about, do I know if the proc rate on the Tiger Hunter axe, or what's the percentage? Honestly, I have no idea. Unfortunately, I thought he was talking about the NM Tiger Bane. I think his name's like Tiger Bane Bakadek or something like that. He drops the Tiger Hunter axe as well as the Warrior's axe, which is both of them are really good axes for Beastmaster. And the Warrior's axe is obviously really good for Warrior too. So, all right. So we're just gonna walk out of the Citadel here, since we were behind one of the first banishing gate. I'm just gonna walk on out of here, and then we're gonna decide perhaps what we're gonna do this evening. So some of the stuff that I have not streamed, partly because it probably wasn't that interesting to watch. I did camp Celeste-Eyed Tosberry for 13 kills in the very lonely Den of Rancor. And the 13th kill is what got me my Kitsasuke, so that was cool. Prior to that, we were fighting Barrel-Footed Mulberry, which is the Force Pop NM in Ugalepi, which drops the level 55 katana Hototo Gisu, and we got that in, I think, 4 spawns. So that was pretty cool. I was expecting to spend a lot more time, certainly on one or both of those NMs, definitely the first one. And I'm really glad that I was able to get those so that I could continue to level up Ninja. So that's what we're doing. All right, Slayer's gonna go get his last level. Congrats again to him for getting to 50, or getting close to 50. All right. So we're just gonna walk back to Juno, I guess. I tend not to bring too many instant warp scrolls with me. I really should. I used to carry double warp cudgels, and then I just kind of stopped for whatever reason. So that's something that I should probably be getting back to a little bit. So I also noticed there was a bit of an issue in my my Ishida script. I have my FPS loaded down to 30 on my PC, and that's not necessary. So we're going to go back up to FPS 1. I play mostly on my laptop, which is certainly a much lower quality gaming experience, but it is more accessible, and I can do it in my living room while, watching TV with my wife or anything in the evenings. So I have to port over my settings to my PC for these Thursday streams, and occasionally I forget to do that. And other times I copy over the files, but they're ever so slightly different because of the different sort of graphical things that are going on with the game. So one of the things that I actually just realized is I have to still download my macros, which I haven't done yet, for Ninja and for Beastmaster, because I make a lot of changes to my macros, and I don't port them over till, like I said, on Thursdays. So that's something that I have to change here. So I'm going to do that momentarily. And boy, it is warm in the house today, and I'm on my second floor here, and it always tends to be warmer up in the house here. So we're gonna have to turn the air on a bit cooler here, because it is warm, right? Right, puppy? Yeah. The dog's looking at me like, dude, it's kind of warm up here. Why are you chilling up here? It's cold in the living room. So, in all the time I've been offline, other than capping those 2 tomberries, I've just been kind of making some cash. I've probably made $1 million or so, maybe more, because I was able to really upgrade my gear significantly. I've had a hobby for a while, but I picked up a scorpion harness. I did pick up a dark staff since the last stream as well. Kind of just saw a deal and said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. Been doing some other random camps like Simmerg and stuff like that. I picked up a jelly ring yesterday. Adventuring Fellow is at level 45. I think stuff is I think that's still a little buggy on the server. That's going to need to be looked into. I'm going to submit, hopefully I'll get around to submitting a sort of comprehensive bug report on what I noticed. But what I did see just the other day is that my fellow, well, today actually, my fellow disappeared after about 15, 16 kills. I didn't count them up. But it's supposed to last me through 60 kills at my current bond level and the current level of the fellow itself. So that was odd that it kind of disappeared early. Prior to that, I was getting about 3 levels pretty solid actually per summon. Today I got 1, and then like 3-4 kills later she disappeared. So I think that needs to be looked into, but you need to submit bug reports, and people need to sort of confirm problems in order for the devs to determine what they need to fix. So I'm being patient about it. It's just a fellow. It's not really a big deal. It's a little side project, and it's really nothing so significant that I need to worry about. Oh, I need to get this damn thing, up to level like 60 like right now. I know it's going to be there for a long time, and I'm not really going to use it for very much anyway. So at this point, there's a few NMs that I do want to camp that would be good to camp. I could definitely pop them solo, but in terms of actually killing them solo, that will be tough. Unger comes to mind. One of the things that the stream has missed entirely is I'm actually got my ninja up to level 66 now. So there's a lot. there's a lot going on here. We've established now a progressive endgame link show with a couple of my friends from Narsh. I've taken that over, and we are just slowly sort of in a leveling up phase to get the proper jobs that we need, and then we're going to blow through the ZM missions to get a bunch of other people sky access, and then we are going to hopefully start killing some gods and stuff, and we'll try to set Thursday night as sort of an event night, I guess, for that specifically, and that'll be good. We'd love to do that. So right now I'm downloading my macros from my Google Drive. And I'm going to be putting them here. So I just copied them all over. I don't know when exactly they reload. Perhaps on when I zone. I don't exactly know. I'm gonna find out in a sec. If that is how it goes, then what will happen is my window width will change, and then I'll know for sure that that's how it works. So, or it's possible that they just kind of, you know, they stay loaded. Am I on my beast macro set? I think I am. Yeah, I am. Normally I have a warp spell set there. So what I'm going to have to do here, guys, is I'm going to have to log out. In fact, let me go into my Mog House and make this easier, because I want to get my macro set up proper so I can actually, you know, do things and not worry about there being bugs and stuff. Alright, so let's shut down for a sec here. Alright, and we're going to extract here and put all of our macros right there. Very good. Alrighty, that should be good. Should be good. That's, I'm hoping it's gonna happen. Alright. And now my window width should be changed here, but that's gonna be fine. I'm okay with that, because that's literally the only change that I need to worry about when I move from my laptop over here. So everything else loaded up just fine, it seems. Checker is also loaded. Great. So I got everything all set up. And I should have my warp spell. There it is. All right, very good. It's been like 3 weeks since I streamed from my PC, so you know, there's a lot that happens in the time between playing on one computer to another. You know, you play a lot, you change your macros as you level up, and that's kind of what was happening that I needed to kind of work on. So, you know, one thing that I've really been thinking about doing on the stream here is I have this beast guide that I started writing a long time ago, and on the beast guide I have a couple of camps that I wanted to, well, one specific camp that I really did want to sort of figure out the positions for, and it's a sky camp, so I think we're gonna go and actually check that out. I'm going to really quickly look for the old guide that sort of says like where you should technically be going to. So I'm going to find that real quick. I think I already have the tab open. Yeah, I do. All right, it is here. And this is from Gamer Escape, and what we're looking for here is where the camp in Ruan Garden is, and then I'm gonna have to look and see if it needs to be modified ever so slightly. So it looks like it says the elemental islands F9, E8, F6, G5, I5/J6, and K8/J9. Those are the 4 islands that are go around sky. There should be enough spots for stuff. So technically I want to do groundskeepers. I want to do groundskeepers, so we're going to make sure that we've got everything that we sort of need to do that stuff. We're going to switch to white mage sub. We're going to go and make sure we have enough pet foods. I believe we want to make sure we have about 4 stacks of pet food. So I think I only have 2 stacks of Zetas right now. So yeah, we want to go and buy some more of that. And we can dump off some of these shrooms that I picked up while we were getting the X-ray mold in Crawler's Nest. And then we'll head up to Sky, and we'll do a little bit of XP there. I'm about 2,500 from a merit, and what I've been doing with my merits thus far is just pumping MP. But the next tier I'm going to hit that I have to do to get the MP plus is 3. And I'm thinking I might just dump those 3 merits I get next into probably into Beast Affinity. Because Courier Carry can still pop at level 73 for me. So if I get him just at 1 level in Beast Affinity, then it'll always pop at 75 no matter what. Hey Pickin', how's it going? If I get one merit in Beast Affinity, it'll always pop at level 75 no matter what. Should you start streaming? Yeah, why not? If you're doing something that you think people are going to find interesting, then why not? And I'll tell you my little story here. I started streaming this about 2.5 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and I was doing just all my Beastmaster XP stuff. Never thought people would want to watch that. Not in a million years. And people watch it. So, there you go. Sometimes you can be really amazed by the things that people will watch on Twitch. How are you now? Yeah, Letterkenny is a great show. Sometimes we talk about TV shows on the stream, and that is just fine. It's just fine with me. I'm going to make sure my desktop audio isn't too loud so that people can still hear me. There we go. Alright. So we've got 4 stacks of Zetas. We should be okay. We're going to dump these in Wardrobe 2 because that's where I put all my B stuff. Apparently there's no more room in there. That is fine. It's probably a lot of gear that I could sell at this point. I just need to go through it and get rid of it. Warrior stuff I could probably be storing now as well. So there's a couple of things that I really don't need to have on me at all. And let's see. Since I haven't actually done XP in a while, one of the things I'm going to need to do is check my reward macro, because I always end up using lower quality food. The deltas there, I had them uncommented and had Zetas commented out. Because when I'm doing like NM stuff out in the world, I don't need to be using the best pet food possible. So I buy some stacks of deltas, which are the level 48 food, and they're literally half the cost of the Zetas. So Zetas for XP, they cure about 1200, and deltas cure about 700 to 800. I think it's like 756. And that's usually enough to push through basically any of the NMs that I've been fighting. Besides Celestine Tosberry and the barrel-footed Mulberry, I've also been fighting Sozu Sarberry, who is the Hocho NM. He only has 1 placeholder, just like Sozu Rogberry. It's a real pain in the butt to get him to pop, but what I'll do is I'll just kill the 1 cutter placeholder and then go do other stuff in Temple of Ugalepi. And then I'll come back and, check it every 20 minutes or so. It's very rare that people in Temple of Ugalepi go down that particular hallway to check them out, because it leads to the room that you need the Ugalepi key to open, which gets you the Paintbrush of Souls. So most people, once they get their paintbrush, they never really go down that particular route. They're going the opposite direction towards Sozu Rogberry. If they're ever going west to the other exit, it's because they're probably going to do ZM or something like that. So they completely bypass the fact that an NM might actually be up. And the other day, I popped them at work around, my lunch break, around 12 o'clock, and then I had a bunch of clients come in after that, and I didn't have time to fight them. It takes about 8 or 9 minutes. Well, it takes less than that, 5 or 6 minutes to fight them. But I have to be really focused on it and can't be interrupted by it. So I just turned my laptop off, did my work. Around 3 o'clock, I logged back in, and he's still up. So people really don't check him at all, not just in the middle of the day, but really ever. I think I'm 0 for 4 on him now. And I don't know what the heck I'm going to do when I get a Hocho. I have a feeling I'm just going to try to sell it. It's a super rare item. We're talking a lot of these Tonberries out there have 3% or less drop rates on a lot of their gear. And I can't fight him with Treasure Hunter sub. Just because he's a ninja type and he midgens. and he uses ranged attack like you would not believe. And the reason for that is ranged attack happens really fast, doesn't seem to interrupt auto attacks that well, and does a lot of damage. So that guy flicks shurikens out like you would not believe on courier carry, and even a familiar courier carry can probably only get that guy down to about 30% or so. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. So, in some cases, you know, like when you're fighting a Tonberry, there's a couple of things you got to keep in mind as a Beastmaster. Number one, your pet always has to have hate, no matter what. Tonberries have Throat Stab, which is basically a hate reset. So you have two options. You can throw caution. You can completely throw caution out the window and say, you know what, I'm just gonna melee right alongside my dude, like I would an XP mob or anything else, and you're gonna do lots of damage. Your pet is going to probably be able to survive the entire length of these mid-level 60 NMs. But if you get throat stabbed, you're screwed, because it's going to turn towards you and then it's going to be on you, and you've built up hate from meleeing. So the best thing to really do, and there are outs for that. Enmity builds pretty slow on Beastmaster compared to Courier Carry, who's going to have a lot of hate compared to you. Throat Stab isn't like it resets it to 1 enmity, it doesn't seem on this server. It seems to reduce about 90% of the enmity. So if you're hitting, you know, these NMs for like 40 to 50 damage on Beastmaster, Courier Carry is doing like 3 times the amount of damage, plus Big Scissors. When it Throat Stab, chances are you can get hate back onto Courier Carry with just 1 Big Scissors. So you just save a charge, basically. You always keep your sick timer at around a minute, rather than a minute 30. So you always have the charge. So the moment Throat Stab happens, you reward Big Scissors. And that's the other thing. You got to keep a reward on cooldown. So you want to use your first reward pretty much after the first weapon skill. And if it's not a Throat Stab, cool. If it is, then you did well in saving it anyway. And that's how you beat those guys. You gotta be cautious. Many of the times, the ninja ones, since you're going to use Midgeon and probably do like 20% flat damage to these guys, I just like to not melee with them. You know, send in the first familiar Courier Carry. She can usually get him down to about 30 to 40%. Usually a little better than that. With a good Big Scissors, if you are conservative on saving your TP to about 1,000 or 1,500, it does really good damage. And then just summoning a second Courier Carry. So you got to have your Call Beast on cooldown, which normally isn't a problem because you're using Courier Carry to actually pop the NM. So, you know, you've already got one out. Cooldown has been good. These repops are 16 minutes in Ugalepi, so... Yeah, little strategies, stuff for a Beastmaster to be sort of aware of. You always want to keep that stuff on cooldown if you can. If you can. I don't know why I'm wide scanning. I'm like, oh, maybe Shiki's gonna be up, and I'll go claim it. With nobody out here to help me. That's not gonna happen though. So our plan, for those just tuning in, I see I got a bunch of viewers that just popped in. I'm going up to Sky, and I'm going to be trying to confirm positioning for some of these camps that I've had, sort of looking for confirmation on my Beastmaster guide for the server. I had a rough go after 70, I'll tell you that. 74 to 75 was definitely the hardest level. And it had nothing to do with the actual amount of XP being obviously the highest to next level. It really had more to do with the fact that there weren't good pet prey matchups in the Treasures of Out Urgon expansion areas. I couldn't find a good spot. I tried real hard, and it just seemed like the next tier up from what I was fighting were the Hill Trolls. And the Hill Trolls were level 78 to 81 or level 76 to 81. So that was just going to be way too high. And now at 75, I can take them out with clots, which are like the slime pets down in Mount Zayome. But you're not going to get more than chain 1 because these guys use Diamond Hide and all manner of business. And something I noticed, which sort of, I don't know why it took me by surprise, because I guess because I did Beastmaster as my first job, and I was really adamant about getting Ninja and White Mage sub to 37 before finishing it. But as you get towards the end of Beastmaster, in terms of this era of the game for Final Fantasy XI, you need to have Red Mage sub because you need Dispel. If we go through some of the best camps that I was able to isolate for these level ranges, 71 to 73, you're going to fight Magmatic Arukas versus Magmatic Arukas. And Magmatic Arukas use Cocoon. It really slows down your XP chain. I didn't have too much trouble hitting chain 4 as long as Cocoon didn't happen. But what I tell myself now, looking back on it, is if I had Dispel, I would have used it every single time Cocoon happened, and I probably would have hit chain 5s. You know, so my XP per hour would have gone from somewhere between 4 and 5k to probably a solid 5k, if not a tad more. The next level range, 73 to 74, using the Arukas versus Sickle Moon Jagals. Jagals use Water Shield and Water Wall, which are evasion boost and defense boost. And again, if I had Dispel, those battles would have gone a lot quicker. So I really wish I'd had Red Mage sub. And in fact, when you get to Sky now, if you're going to do the 72 to 75 route in Sky, you're going to do 72 to 74 as you want to do it as sub Red Mage, because you're going to be fighting Flamingos versus Sprinklers. And Sprinklers use Blaze Spikes. And Blaze Spikes is going to chew through shit like your Stone Skin, your health over time, and the more spells you got to cast up there, the worse off you are. You know, you're in a conquest zone, so you're not going to have auto refresh from Sanction like you would somewhere else. You're going to be using it. You're going to have to use a Gaudy Harness to get refresh, and that's only going to tick you up to 50 MP. So stuff like that to keep in mind. If you're going to be leveling Beastmaster on this server in particular, do your White Mage sub. That is your top priority. No matter what, it's your top priority. You're going to use that at 90% of camps, maybe even more than 90% of camps. You know, and followed by Ninja sub, which is mixed use as you're leveling up. You know, if you're fighting crawlers, if you're fighting spiders, you're okay with Ninja sub. Anything else, you pretty much need White Mage sub. You know, if you're fighting gobs, bombs, pucks, it doesn't matter. You're going to need White Mage sub. Because they're going to do guaranteed damage no matter what. You know, even if you keep Stone Skin and Blink up, they're going to hit you. Because they have AoEs that go through shadows and shit. But then you get to the end of the level range there, and you say to yourself, you know what? I really need to think about getting Red Mage sub, because having Dispel for the 70 to 75 run is, I think, super duper important. So I highly recommend that is what you do. And I don't know why my footsteps aren't on. I'm going to have to look at that. Footsteps effects should be on. Thank you very much. Because I'm on my PC. It's porting over my laptop settings turns my footsteps off again. Because that's running at 30 FPS on that thing. Alright. So we made it to Sky. And basically, we're going to be looking at any of these elemental islands, any of these 5 islands here that you see. I'll show you again once I port over here. There are 5 islands on this map. This first one here is not an elemental island, but any of the other 4 are. And we're gonna have to take a look at what the matchups are gonna be. But we don't want to be killing these Sprinklers. We want to be going. We want to be running for the Groundskeepers is really what we want to go for. I have a Smock Devilkin right now. I've gone through probably 4 or 5 mods in the years that I've been vaping. I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's just alright. But my last one broke. And I needed to get to my vape shop and buy something that was 50 to 60 bucks that would just be solidly built. So even though the reviews were pretty bad on it, I picked it up because it was like, well, it's here. I don't want to wait like 4 days to order or something. So this would be a great camp here, these Sprinklers, if I was leveling up. But I am not leveling up. I am definitely going for merits here. And we're also going to switch over to limit points here. I was getting a little bit of buffer since I had died. Because our target here are these Groundskeepers. We want to take those guys out. They range from 75 to 78. And we're going to want to convert the flamingos that we find on the island to 74. And we're going to need at least 2 of them, if not more of them. So I'm going to take a glance at what we've got here. Alright, so there's 2 groundskeepers on this side, and I think there's probably 2 on the other side. So it's going to be, we're going to have to convert these flamingos to 74. And use 1 each here, so that's fine. Let's start. No, I don't want to do that. So let's just get this going. We're going to start converting them. And for those who are not familiar with Beastmaster, what I say by convert is we're either going to fight them to kill them and try to get them to respawn into 70, the level that we want, which is usually even match. But we cannot get these guys to even match because they cap out at level 74. They're 72 to 74. So that's just how it goes, unfortunately. He should despawn. There it goes. That one's also 74. So we've got a couple here that are already 74. And since we're going back and forth here, we want to make sure that we always take one with us when we run to the other side, so that we can just despawn, and do it that way. So these groundskeepers down here would be nice targets, but since we're in an outdoor area, we actually only need 4 mobs, and we can keep the XP chain going pretty well here. So what I'm seeing is there are 3 groundskeepers here, and then we may have to pull 1 out of the alcove because I don't see a 4th one here that I would want to kill anywhere. But this flamingo's level here is going to be really important because he's probably going to be the target we grab for this groundskeeper here. And I know I'm sort of thinking about this very quickly compared to how someone leveling up might look at it, but I've done 75 levels of this solo, so I tend to think pretty quick when I look at a camp. I can analyze it very quickly and say, all right, we need to change this, this, and this. Let's just get something going here. And it really does look like we're going to have to pull 1 groundskeeper out of an alcove, and I think it's going to be probably on that side over there. So we may even have to do 2. It really depends because we're going to be moving very quickly through these, I can tell. And if they do meltdown and stuff, that's a whole nother story. So these things are high enough level that they will aggro me if I cast magic. So we want to be careful in where we cast our spells. Typically right in the middle here, I think, would be the best thing to do. And, you know, if we get an elemental on us, we'll just send a flamingo at it, and that's fine. We're also going to make a little room for ourselves as we kill stuff. There'll definitely be room. Alright, here we go. And by room, I mean we'll be killing mobs and making space, so we'll be able to cast spells a bit more effectively here. Alright. Here we go. So we're not going to be able to cast anything here, unfortunately. I don't think. Alright. We're just going to have to melee these things down. And this one is level 77, so there's a 3-level difference between the pets and the groundskeeper in this particular battle. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, and White Mage sub is just very effective for this particular camp. There's really no problems with it at all. The weapon skills that these dudes use is pretty good though. So you know, I might be a little weary of fighting the high level ones like the 78. The 77 here is looking to be a challenge. This is without being able to cast Dia at all. So that I don't like very much. But we'll see. We'll see how we do here, and if we can preserve flamingos as we go through, we're even in an even better position. Because I have a feeling that one way you can do this camp is simply by using 2 flamingos per, and that would be effective. What add-ons I'm using? So I'm using XP Watch, I'm using iBar, I used the filters add-on, I used the checker add-on, and that sort of helps me maintain everything I need to sort of maintain. Obviously, I use a Sheetacast swaps as well, so when I engage, it puts on a certain set. When I rest, it puts on a certain set. Weapon skill is a different set, all this kinds of stuff. Yeah, all that stuff is eating okay, yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard any problems. There's been some people who have asked questions about iBar, which is understandable. My response to that is that iBar doesn't do anything that you can't look up on the wiki in 5 seconds. It just saves you from having to alt-tab and look up stuff. As you can see at the very top of my screen, I know it's probably tiny. It tells you the name of the mob, the job of the mob, the level range of the mob, and what it aggroes. So that M there is magic, so that you know this aggroes magic. If it's an H, that means sound. If it's an S, it's sight. If it's SC, it means that it tracks by scent. And if it's an L, it means it also links. So they'll put like H, S, L, and it means it aggroes by sound and by sight, and it tracks by scent. There is also that it'll put like a T next to it if it's true sound or true sight as well. So this flamingo needs to be converted still. We're setting up the XP camp still, honestly. And then it tells you the weaknesses to the mobs. So flamingos here are weak to piercing and ice. And then there's a coordinate for where the mob's relative position is on the map here. Or actually the exact position that it is on the map. And those positions in the iBar plugin, you can see as I'm targeting myself, it's changing the coordinate because I'm moving on the map actively. Those are actually matched up to the DSP coordinates for where mobs spawn in the DSP. So, obviously you will never memorize those kinds of things, so it's not like this huge issue, I don't think, in my opinion. The other thing I'm using is Recast. You can see Recast actually right there on the left side of your screen, showing me my sick Recast. It depends. I mean, if you care about knowing the level of the mob exactly, Checker is a great plugin. I know for a fact this Groundskeeper is level 75 even match, so that's super helpful to me. I like iBar because it tells you what stuff aggroes to, so you can more intelligently cast Sneak and Invis and what you don't need to cast. Stuff like that. That stuff to me is really helpful. I think the most resourceful thing you can do is to understand how the Ashita scripting language works so that you can make more intelligent macro swaps. That would be a recommendation that I would have. Right now, I use a Sheetacast to basically do everything that I need it to do. So one interesting thing that a Sheetacast can do is it can query your MP. And what you can do is stuff like the Gaudy Harness has rules for when it activates Refresh. And so one of those rules is it will only activate Refresh if you are under 50 MP. So my Gaudy Harness is only equipped when I'm under 50 MP. The moment I click to 50 MP, switches me back into whatever body piece I ought to be using, and that will depend on whether I am standing still or engaged. So if I'm engaged, it puts my Halbergian back on. If I'm standing still, it just puts my standing gear back on. So stuff like that. Very helpful to know how to use. The scripting language is invaluable, and I would recommend learning how it works. Now this flamingo is level 74, and I don't want to lose it, so we need to kill this groundskeeper. Awesome. Alright. So this is something that I'm not a big fan of, having to return these birds, but I'm going to have to still convert other birds anyway. So for the time being, this guy can go back home, and he should go back home. This bird is going to need to be converted to 74. So this is why it's so helpful for Beastmaster. I'm level 75, and these birds only range 72 to 74. So there's no way for me to know when it says DC that it is a 72, 73, or 74. But with Checker plugin, I can know. It will tell me. It will say, yes, your bird is not the level that you want it to be. So convert it in your brain. And what's interesting is that the Checker plugin doesn't query the server, you know, in any particular way. It's just telling you what your client already knows, but that Square Enix literally chose to not tell you. Because that's the thing. Square Enix chose not to put the levels of mobs when on the checker. But the client knows. The client receives the level of the mob from the server. Okay, so it's local. And then decides whether or not that is decent challenge, EM, easy prey, whatever, based on your own level. So it does the comparison for you, but it's vague. This is just another one of those things that Square Enix had no business doing. All right, and then we've had a conversation before on the stream about stuff like this. But for example, differentiating evasion to evasion skill is something incredibly cryptic in this game. Latent effect adds refresh effect. Again, another incredibly vague thing. But enhancers reward effect. Okay, well, it tells me it makes reward better, right? But again, kind of vague, because there are different ways to enhance a particular ability. In the case of Zorljaw's Axe, it makes my reward cure for more. And so is the case in the Beastman body. And then you have words like augment, which you would think, okay, so it changes the effect slightly or adds something to the effect. That's the case most of the time. Some other times it's not the case. So Square Enix's wording on stuff pretty shitty, and it's not something that that the server devs here can change, because they're just using the client itself. So whatever half-baked idea Square Enix came up with, they're part of Eden as well. So that's something to, I guess, celebrate in a sense. I actually don't care if I lose this bird, because it's only level 73. And I think as long as you're doing this camp, if you continue to fight something, as long as the level spread is 3 or less, you should be alright. So if this is a level 75 Groundskeeper, I'm okay with using this bird, but it's not. It's a level 72. So I am going to be trying to convert this guy. And these battles are taking a little bit longer than I'd like. So is the rotation, because I'm still trying to convert stuff. Alrighty. So this is a bird that I want next, right here. He's level 74. Go. And we're going to engage. So see, now my MP is less than 50. So my gaudy harness is on. Now, I don't know what's underneath me here. I need to familiarize myself a little bit with this camp, but I don't think this is a super great camp either. 74 to 75. I mean, I've killed a full rotation of the mobs at this point. And we're at about 3k an hour, which isn't great, to be honest. Yeah, it's really not that great. And I don't know what the range on the magic aggro for stuff is. Whether or not that sprinkler down there is going to aggro me. Nope, doesn't look like it will. So, that's good. It's good to know. Now, once I get all the birds converted to the level I want them, the camp sort of radius is going to shrink because I'm not going to be running as far out of the sort of range of the mobs. So, I think it's going to be better. You know, if I was XPing, what I would do is right away I would convert the mobs. I wouldn't start XPing. You know, especially in a new, unfamiliar camp. I have sort of scoped this out already a little bit, and just looking at it and being experienced enough, I would say, yeah, I could make this happen, kind of thing. So I just went for it. I didn't bother sort of wasting time on whether or not I could do it. I just knew that I could. This bird's doing really well. Now that's with Dia 2, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm not always going to be able to cast Dia 2, although it looks like I might be able to get away with it in most cases. I think what I might do is, for the purposes of conserving MP, I'm going to switch to Dia 1. So as you can see, I keep both sort of, I keep both queued up here on my macro itself so that I can just swap between them for the purposes of MP. So that should be chain. That's good. And we're gonna have to find another bird that is of good level. I don't know if the one that just popped is the right level here. It is a 74. All right, great. So we've got one of our 2 birds at 74. That's awesome. You always want to make a mental note of where you grab the birds from, so that if you want to return them, you can. And when we get that second bird here, it's going to be a lot better, because then we're not going to have to run all the way over there to grab a bird. They're just going to be right here. And we'll be able to get Dia up. And I think the height of this particular area is sort of allowing me not to have to worry about getting aggro too much. So we are going to keep Blink up and Stone Skin up, and this actually seems like a decent slash ninja camp. Like, none of these have melted down, so that's kind of my concern. Like, oh, getting ahead of myself and saying, yeah, I should do slash ninja here. It'll be great. But yeah, I don't think I'd recommend it. Not for the long game, especially with sort of how even the hate on these things seems to be. I can hit for 60 to 70. These guys are hitting each other for 90 to like 120. The Groundskeepers in just about every case are hitting for slightly more because they're always going to be higher level, guaranteed. So yeah, I don't know that I would sub ninja and dual wield. If you're going to sub ninja here, which again, not recommending, I would do it with an axe and a shield, honestly. Alrighty. So we may have to use a pet food here. We're going to take this all the way to the end. Right now the hit point disparity is 12%. Normally in an XP party, I'm not comfortable with that. It's 13 now. And I can't hit these guys any harder than I'm hitting them, so it seems like a reward is in the cards here. Yeah, and that's a good thing too, because that would have killed the flamingo. We'll have to see how well I can do to rampage these guys down too. Alright, I think 13% is... Nope. 13% is not reasonable, it seems. And this bird just belongs right up at the top of the steps here. So I think we missed chain 4 here, but that's okay. We're still getting used to the camp. We're making really large rotations here. This bird here is no-go. We cannot have this bird at 72. He was better off last time at 73. And the idea would be to take those 2 pets and alternate between them for the 3 groundskeepers here. I think that would be reasonable to do. So that's a 73. I don't know what level the groundskeeper is. If he's a 75, I have no problem using the 73 that's here. He is a 76. Alright, yep, we'll do it. Let's go. As long as the level of disparity isn't greater than 3, we're okay. We're really okay with it. And we'll get Dia up just for old time's sake. So, going back to the red mage sub thing, this spell would be invaluable to have. You would still get Blink. I believe you'd still get Stone Skin. Yeah, I think you would get Stone Skin. And you get End Spells, which is an interesting DPS sort of add-on. You know, you could look at what End Spells would be helpful for the mobs as you go through those sort of mid to late 70s XP. You know, assuming you're doing it solo. So that would be interesting. It would be more MP used. You'd have a smaller MP pool, but I think when you consider that your buff rotation really only is 48 MP anyway, you're fine. You're fine sitting at, like, I'm fine sitting at 50 MP right here, and I don't even have Shell on. I should consider putting Shell on. I will. It's gonna switch me back into my gaudy harness, but you know, it is what it is. You're always free to take a break. You don't have to keep grinding if you don't want to. That's the beauty of Beastmaster. I don't like this camp that much. It's only getting 3k an hour. So we'll probably get the merit, and then we'll maybe just move on to something else. So yeah, my Stone Skin and Blink definitely wore off. And it's funny because, you know, this mob wasn't hitting me. I wasn't worried about anything wearing off the last couple of mobs, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, well now I'm getting hit again. Now it's all worn off, and now he's gonna turn and hit me. So. Oh yeah, in Wings of the Goddess, yeah, the Jin mobs were great if you fed them TP. Yeah, we don't have that, unfortunately. So. And I think that's why it was important for me to go through a lot of stuff for Eden, because there were some XP camps that were eliminated from contention because, you know, the game evolved and other camps had replaced them. So I had to really sift through 3 different guides to figure out what would be best here on Eden. That was, you know, it wasn't difficult, but I would say through the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and oh boy, that could be bad. Yep, it's bad. So there goes that. So that was a big meltdown. That was a really big meltdown, and we took a lot of damage before that, and our Stone Skin had worn off, which really sucked. But something we learned all the coordinates for that particular camp. And I think that probably using 2 flamingos per might be a little better. My thing here is I would say, you know, obviously I wanted the guide to be completely for solo. However, that last level is rough. And so a duo might actually be worthwhile up in Sky for that last level. It's so difficult when you're talking about dealing with DC mobs all the time. So, on the Beastmaster Guide, we are going to be adding the coordinates for the Groundskeeper camp. At the very least, we will do the Groundskeeper camp. And that's going to be any of these coordinates at all. It's going to be the F9 F9/E8 is the first set, or you can do F6 G5, and if you're not looking at the guide link now, you won't see these updates happening live, but they are happening. I5 and J6 is the next one. I5/J6, comma, and the last batch is K8/J9. K8/J9. Alrighty. So those are the coordinates for that camp. And I really would just, honestly, just freaking do it as a duo, straight up. I wouldn't even really try, to do anything other than that at that point. But I did it solo, and it took forever. And I did it in Mount Zayome, and it wasn't fun at all. It was definitely the least fun of the levels, in my opinion. So. I'm going to write the note for this while it's fresh in my mind. You can do this camp in two ways. The first is to convert all the flamingos. I'd say at least 4 of the flamingos to EM. And fight. Okay. You can then either fight alongside the flamingo, keeping up all your buffs, including Barfira, or you can use 2 flamingos with a pet swap. The latter strategy is safer. But the XP will be much slower. Yeah. If you have Red Mage sub, then Dispel will serve you well. I don't like the Groundskeeper camp. I think the Sprinkler camp is probably pretty good. I would give it a B+ probably. The Sickle Moon Jagal Embatic Aruka camp, it's really gonna take a nosedive down to like a B-, in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to consider the guide pretty much done for the solo page, now that I've gotten all of that stuff sort of in. Alrighty. So, I don't have much of a to-do list this evening, and that's one of my problems. I don't have places to go or places to be, nor a to-do list. I don't have a lot of items that I want to go after, so I'm going to ask if anyone needs any help. There was the notion of getting an air tank off of the Hobgoblin Blackguards, which is something that I do want to do. So the Rudder Sabatons are one of the best weapon skill pieces for the jobs that I'm currently playing. ninja, beastmaster, warrior, and they're level 63. And yeah, I want to get one. So the Hobgoblin Blackguards are level 78 to, I believe, 81 out in Babiki Bay. So they're a tough kill, even at level 75. So chances are that something that high level will require me to use a pet swap. So we'll just go and do it. Pet swapping is not something that I liked to do in leveling up. I thought it was shitty and slowed things down significantly. So I just didn't do it. I really didn't like doing it at all. Anytime a camp called for it, for like the first level or two, I decided just to look for an alternate camp and stick it on the guide. One in particular does come up where I did a pet swap and I thought it was better for the XP overall, and another camp where I chose an alternate. So the one where I decided that the pet swap was okay was 33 to 36, doing the Gallinepper flies in Guzgan Mines versus the bombs down there. Because the bombs there are level 38 plus, I believe. So you're not going to kill them with one pet anyway. And the amount of XP you get per hour is phenomenal. Plus they're bombs. You're not going to melee them. So you have to understand that if your pet's not going to kill it, you need to just feed it TP with multiple pets and get it to explode. The camp that I decided not to use the pet swap in was the East Gate, I think it was actually West Gate, Cadaver Mire camp outside of Nashmau. You could go there early, and you could use the saplings there as a pet swap versus the Marshmoors. I decided to just wait the 2 levels to be able to use the leeches before going there, and I stayed in Boyata Tree for 60 to 62. Once I dinged 62, I went out there and converted the leashes and used those. So, you know, would the camp have been great doing a pet swap per hour in terms of XP? Probably, yeah. But those Marshmores have very high evasion. Even with the leeches, there were some battles that came real close to wiping. So it wasn't something that I like to do. Yeah, those Marshmores, you know, until you got like to the point where you were capping out the leeches level against them, they were tough. They were really, really tough. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in some time here. We're going to go after an air tank. And the air tank is an item that drops only off of Hobgoblin Blackguards in Babiki Bay. I need to make sure that I'm going the right way, first of all, which I'm not. And that pops the NM for the Rudder Sabatons, which is in Newton Movopolis. And they only drop off Hobgoblin Blackguards. So we're going to go and find the 4 spawns in Babiki Bay. Chances are we're only going to be able to fight 2 of them. Because these battles are going to be long. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're going to have to find some rabbits and convert rabbits to 75 and probably end up using both rabbits. So it's going to be imperative that we don't lose a rabbit. So there's some skill and strategy involved in actually performing this particular farming. It's not going to be super fun, but it will be something. It will be something to do. Now, I spend most of my time when I'm not streaming and I am playing this game and not XPing, just making money, you know, and I think that's what most people probably do. I have 1 craft at level 9, which is leatherwork, and I do not use it for any kind of money. I've just been throwing materials that I farm towards it, and then if I get pretty close to the cap on something, I'll just buy the rest to hit the cap. You know, so I'm basically getting 3/4 of my progress paid for, maybe even more than that. just by camping stuff. So I camped Stray Mary for a while. I had like 9, 10 stacks of sheepskins. I made those into sheep leather. I used the sheep leather, or I made the sheep wool first, and then I made sheep leather, and I capped out at 4, and then I went and leveled up my Dark Knight today. In Ronfar, got a shitload of rabbit hides, and got to level 6, and now I'm making Solias with the sheep leather that I made. So things are going. Things look pretty good. And yeah, just doing that. But most of the time I spend camping in Ems. So I am in and out of places like Ostrosia, South Gustaberg, Sea Serpent Grotto, you know, and Denner Rancor. I'm all over the place. I really am. And I have a good time just camping and, you know, mostly not paying attention because I'm watching like a show and waiting for repops and stuff. But you know, it's something to do, and it's good money if you know what you're doing. It's good money. And for those who don't know what they're doing, it can be a real challenge. All right, we're not going to look around and tab through stuff because we have something called White Scan. We're going to go and find the first hobgoblin that we can possibly find. We're looking for the Blagger, Hobgoblin Blagger. We need to go farther south in Babiki Bay than we currently are in order to get them on scan. So let's do that. And using familiar here is going to be probably pretty useless. A lot of these mobs are already over level 75, and they're going to destroy a pet even with familiar. So unless I can get a really damn good pet, I don't think I'm going to be using my familiar ability. But we'll see. We'll see. I can recall quite well fighting stuff in some camp here in Babiki Bay. I think it was like in a little cave somewhere, and pulling goblins in there. Yeah, I think these Katoba... There's a Blagger right there. There's a Blagger. And there's a Venerer. So let's see. The pets that are nearby aren't great level. This Tropical Ray Rabbit 75. The Catoblepas is here. You know what? They're not bad level. If I can get a 81 Catoblepas, I think I might be in business and be able to get a couple of kills out of these guys. But I'm gonna have to use a lot, and I do mean a lot of pet food. But that's okay. If I can just get a level 81, because I'm pretty sure these guys go up to level 81. But if they go up to level 80 only, I'm fine with that too. It's a 79. That's a level 80. That's a level 80 right there. All right. This is going to be real interesting, guys. Because there are goblins all over the place here. All over the place. I don't think there's anywhere I can isolate a Catoblepas and isolate a Blagger. Oh wait, there's one here that's kind of isolated. Huh. And there's some Rayrabs here. These Rayrabs aren't too bad either. So there's a Blagger right there. That's kind of isolated. I could probably get him a couple times. I'm going to have to get that Catoblepas, though. That's level 80-something, and hopefully get him on the first try. That's not going to be fun. Yeah, there's the other Blagger right there. And I'm sure I could pull that guy in someplace safe as well. But this is the Catoblepas that I want. This one right here. He's level 80. But this Blagger is right here. And all these other goblins are here too. So this is going to be... It's going to be a challenge. No doubt. It's going to be a challenge. Yeah. I have to wait for this guy to turn around or walk so I can see which direction he's going to go in and stop for a bit. Keep an eye on that Toreador over there too. Maybe. Let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna blink up. Yep, that didn't work. Let's see if we can tame him. Getting invisible up real quick. So my macro right now has tame commented out, and we were lucky that we got that that invisible up because that blagger was right there. All right, I got him. I'm gonna familiar him. And we're gonna fight this goblin right here. We don't have much of a choice. We're just gonna have to see what happens. Now I don't want to fight him here. I'd rather be fighting the other goblin, but we're gonna chance it. We're just gonna take a risk and we're gonna fight this gobby right here and see what happens. We're gonna hope that Toreador doesn't wander over here. We're gonna keep our fingers nice and crossed. Get Dia up on this guy. There's Goblin Rush. Yeah, I think this is a good matchup here. I don't know why this keeps popping up, but it does. Alright, so our Cthulhupas decided he wanted to use Berserk. And it looks like we're okay right now in terms of other enemies being around us. Hey, we might get this in one kill for all we know, you know? The alternate way we'll definitely be using... Oh, there's Bomb Toss. Drop the bomb, you bastard. Good. Let's get Invis back up. Let's get out of here. Let's just book it. Book it past this Toreador. And get over to this blagger here. It looks to me like this blagger is probably all by himself. I don't see that he's at risk to be link anywhere, but I'm gonna move him over here just in case. There we go. Just in case. Always be conservative on Beastmaster. You know, you're by yourself, alone in the middle of nowhere. You gotta be a little conservative about things. So I'm gonna reward my guy because I feel like he deserves it. That's a great weapon skill to use. Because now this thing's defense is lowered. I should get Stone Skin back up in case he uses Bomb Toss. It's going to switch me back into my Gaudy, which is fine. Alright. Now these guys are thieves, so they've got a lot of evasion. They also have triple attack. They don't do too well against these Cthulhupas, though. It seems to me like they really don't do a great amount of damage. I mean, they get hit so hard, too. I mean, look at this guy. He's hitting it for over 250 damage because of the defense down. Critting for 339. It's insanely good. He's also got Dia on. Well, he did. So what we're going to do is we're going to rest this Cthulhupas every time that we can. So now he's going to use Bomb Toss. He dropped the bomb. That's okay. And we're looking for an air tank. So if we get an air tank, we're out of here. Now, I don't think these guys aggro at all. So they just track by scent and they link. And I don't think they aggro resting, so we're good. So we've killed 2 hobgoblins so far with our level 80 Catoblepas. And they both dropped a bomb. One pretty much midway through the battle, and the second one pretty late into the battle. So we're going to take advantage of this downtime, and we're going to cast Re-Raise on ourselves, which is something that we should always be doing when we enter a zone and are doing crazy shit like this. But sometimes we just forget. And we don't do it. And we should. We should always do it. Also need to cast Shell, Protect, all that good stuff. And we will be able to do some of that with our first batch of MP here. And I have like 228, 248 max, which is decent. And I've turned my Ashita off so that when I get up, it'll keep me at this max and not switch my gear at all. Alrighty. One more tick. There we go. Let's get Re-Raise up. And then we'll rest again. And let's see how much time before the next blagger spawns up. So he'll be up around, let's see, 34:03 is when he'll be around. So he's coming up in about 45 seconds. So outdoor respawns on Eden are 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And Beastman area respawn is 13 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know what the disparity is going on there, but DSP sort of measures things improperly. And those are the observed respawn times from the time that it appears in the log that the mob has died. Not from when the body disappears or anything like that. It's 5:48 outdoors, so this blagger, he'll be up. And, well, he's already up. He was up 13 seconds ago. But that's okay. We're ahead of things even still. We are going to take another tick. We're trying to get up to about 220 so we can cast our Stone Skin and our Blink. We've got to keep an eye on our Familiar as well, which is going to be 30 minutes tops on something like this. Or 28 to 29 minutes, and then we're going to have to release the mob before it kills us. And we should also recall that there is a Toreador that we have to run past. So we're going to have to get... Okay. Oh yeah, heal takes off my invis. I forgot about that one. Okay. So that's the Toreador right there. He's a red mage type. We don't want to mess with him because he's probably really, really buffed up. And there's the blagger that we want right there. I want to move him over a little bit. I think if I put him in here, we're okay. I don't think the Toreador comes over here. He comes nearby, but he doesn't come over here. And I think he'll be more apt to linking the Catoblepas rather than aggroing me. So we're just going to try to keep it real tight in here. Right tight up against the wall so that we don't aggro anybody else. And that Toreador is basically my biggest fear right now. The Physician, I think he doesn't come to this tree, so we should be okay. Oh, is he going to drop the bomb? No, he's not. Okay. That's okay. We're going to have to get... Alright, so our Catoblepas use Healing Breeze, which is fantastic. That I like a lot. You can use Healing Breeze every single time. Either that or Sonic Wave. And we're going to want to get Stone Skin back up. There's that Toreador. He's moving. Yeah, he's coming. Okay, I don't know that he comes this far over. I'm just trying to find a safe spot, you know, somewhere to be, so that I don't have to worry about this thing actually getting aggroed. Now, I don't know how rare this air tank actually is, but in no way can I sub-thief to do this anyway. There's just no way. It's way too risky. There'll be way too much downtime. I'll probably, if I was able to survive it all, I'd probably still get like 3 less kills, which is like, you know, you could probably do with that. But I'm not going to risk it. There's just no way. Watch that Toreador. What's he doing? Alright. Yeah, I don't think he pads over here. I think we might be okay. Think so. Alright. He's our threshold. We got to pass through him every single time to get to the other blagger. And I don't think he comes near the blagger either, so... I'm actually kind of surprised they're this close to each other. I would have thought they'd be a little farther apart. And there is a goblin that spawns down the hill there, so I'm not taking any chances with him running up the hill and aggroing us. I'm just taking him to the corner here, which should be perfectly safe. As long as I mind my manners here. Alrighty. And that's going pretty well. This is pretty easy with a familiar Kotobopas. It's a little nerve-wracking doing that battle between the Physician and Toreador, but it looks like that's a safe spot. Even across the way along this wall, right behind me here, I think that would be okay too. You want to drop the bomb, buddy? Yeah, you do. Alrighty. So we're doing pretty well here. We're doing aight. Let's heal ourselves up here. We have enough MP to cast the Stone Skin, so we will. It's going to be less than 5 minutes between the next respawn anyway. And we'll get a rest in here. Now, I'm pretty sure I could do this with 2 Rayrabs. There's 2 Rayrabs that are down this hill straight ahead of me. So if I got the blagger pulled down there on this side, I think I could do him pretty much infinitely without worrying about having familiar up. Definitely more risky. I would not fight in those battles. I wouldn't fight again with the first pet. I'd probably fight with the second pet, but not the first one. And it's doable. Yeah, I think it's actually really doable. So these are the Rayrabs down here, and both the 2 that are down there are actually 74 already. I know these guys range 73 to 76, so I could convert them to EM for sure, and have them pretty much battle the entire duration, but I'd want to swap for sure, and somewhere in there. So with these guys dropping the bomb as often as they do, it looks like we're killing them one every like 90 seconds or so. So there is a lot of downtime. The first one died at 3650, so if we apply our 548 math, we add 6 minutes to that, subtract 12 seconds. We're looking at 44:38 is when he's going to spawn. So, or 42:38. So we've got a lot of time before he spawns. I wonder where the other blagger is. Let's see. He's up there. That's definitely bad country. I wouldn't go there. Let's see where the other blagger. There's 4 in this zone, I think. Alistair, Toreador, Physician, Angler. Maybe there's only 3, unless there's one that's up a little farther up that I missed. But Wiki says that there's 3 here. Oh, there he is. No, that's the same one that I was looking at before. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, that's not good either. That's a risky spawn. The Venerer and the Toreador. And there's really no good wall there, I don't think. I could take a look at it, though. See if it's worth adding into the rotation here. Because, I mean, I'm killing these guys pretty fast. Kotobopas is rocking this goblin world, like, so bad right now. So I'll leave him here to rest while I go and check out what the other one looks like. Because there apparently are 4 in this area. I need a better invis than this. Not confident about this invisible. That's better. So the other one's right here. Actually, he's pretty isolated. I could probably do him too. Now let's do it. Okay. So now we've got 3 in our rotation if we do this guy. And I'm going to have to... I don't see another goblin that way. And I doubt the physician comes this far. I really do. But we're going to keep an eye out anyway. There he is, the hobgoblin Alistair. Let's see where he roams. I don't think he comes all the way over here. The physician really might. He might come close, but I don't know. Alright. Let's have this guy stay here. Yeah, we're getting away with some really good kills here. So that's excellent. We're able to do 3 of them at least in rotation. And I'm going to look at the other one up here really quick. He's just north of here. This is the Toreador that he's in between, and then there's another goblin. Let's see if he's alone enough to be able to pull him too. There's a Venerer there. I wonder. This one might be the risky pull, but let's do it. All right, go big or go home kind of thing. And let's see if we can just pull him back way to the wall here. And that'll give us the most amount of space to work with as we can get. Yeah, stay nice and tight in here. Okay. Let's give this guy a reward. We want to just stay ahead of that. Yeah, I think that Venerer stays in there near the trees, and this one marks the other trees. Yeah, I think I can do all 4 of them if I get lucky enough. Yeah, stomping is not a good use of TP, in my opinion. He did a double weapon skill there because Sick was still charged up before the stay. And he didn't get to use his TP last battle, so that's cool. These guys drop the bomb constantly, which is super nice. I appreciate that about them. It's going quick. I'm going to have about 12 more minutes of this fun. These guys are hard to hit without my hobby on, but I need to make sure my MP stays up, so yeah, sacrifices have to be made. I think tonight we'll probably go till about 10 Eastern, so we got another hour and 15 minutes. Perhaps we will get lucky. Let's get a rampage in here. That's going to miss a lot of hits probably. No, 129, wow. Yeah, these guys just have a lot of evasion. Like, a lot of evasion. Obscene amounts of evasion. Alright, so he didn't bomb toss there. That's great. We have to recast Stone Skin. Alright, so we're doing... We started with doing the 2 and seeing where we were at. And now we're doing all 4 of them, presumably. Next time I come out here, I'll know I can just jump right in with all 4 of them. So our Kotoblopas probably got stuck, which is kind of sucky, but that's okay. Maybe pulling him back a little bit. A little bit. Come on, come on, come on. I want you to get right in here. That's where I want him to be. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So he opened up with Berserk. I don't like him using Berserk. He's going to take more damage. Much more than I'd like him to take. But I've got him for 10 more minutes, so that's probably going to be 4 more kills. At best, it's going to be 4 more kills. It's probably more like 3. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Damn it, Butterfingers. You need to eat more Butterfingers. Yeah, I feel like Blink is kind of useless here. I'm never going to pull hate from the pet at this point. It's never going to happen. I just got to be wary of that Toreador. I don't trust it. I don't trust the nav mesh right now at all. I've seen mobs wander way out of their spawn zone, like sporadically, and then despawn or aggro you, and you're like, this space was safe, like, for the 30 hours I've been here already, and suddenly it's not. That happened to me a lot in Dinner Encore, where I would be in a tunnel, not resting or anything. Yeah, see him? See how far he's coming into these trees now? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Alright, the next battle is definitely the safest of these. Easily the safest of these battles. I just got to check on that physician's position because I don't want him to look this way when I'm pulling. I don't think Kotobupas wants to tank 2 of these at the same time because these goblins, they hit hard. These are very high level monsters. Drop it. Damn. It's okay with me. This other guy's watching. You want to join in, buddy? Help out a little bit, maybe? It'd be cool if, I mean, it would be neat if, when you had a pet, stuff linked and helped you out. It would probably kill your XP in most cases, but at this point, I'm not making XP off these guys. My pet is higher level than them by a ton. Now he drops the bomb. Alright, you stay. I gotta invis and get over the first one. So we just killed all 4 of them in the rotation. Looks like we're gonna get at least 2 more kills in if we want to be conservative. 3rd if we're really pushing it. Because we've got 7 minutes and or slightly less on Familiar right now. And then I might think about setting up that that dual pet one. It's unfortunate that there's not more Rayrabs around here to be used, and or that these Kotobupas don't sink down at 75. I mean, it just kind of is what it is, I suppose. Alright. Yeah, this Blagger here is going to be the next target. I want to get him over against this wall, though. I don't like how far out he goes. Yeah, I think the Alistair stays over there. I keep worrying about it. You know, I'm concerned about my safety. I'm in a very unfamiliar camp here. I don't have Stone Skin up right now, which I don't like, but I'm dealing. I'm really dealing with it right now. When I get to 28 MP, if I'm not obsessed, I can put it back up, I suppose. And I will. Oh, there's bomb toss. Alright, let's get this TP going here. Let's see if he does a stomping or something. Healing Breeze. Cool. That's good too. So he also heals me, which is great. Yeah, double attack. More double attack. And both those double attacks land both hits too, which is what I like. I like to see that. Yeah, Goblin Rush really isn't hitting them for very much at all. So yeah, the drop rate on this seems pretty bad. I mean, I haven't even seen one. I've seen a Kindred Seal. I haven't seen anything of a Gill and a Kindred Seal. So that's pretty telling. Alrighty, this will be the last one, I think. Especially if it goes the distance here. It's gonna be the last one we fight. You gotta come back here, buddy. Real quick. There we go. Yep. So there's plenty of space to fight these, it seems, right now, at first glance. I like that. Just gotta keep watching the spacing. This Toreador... yeah. He could definitely aggro if he wanted to. Oh boy. Okay. That's close. That's really close. That is closer than I would like. And there's a chance that he doesn't aggro the Cthulhupas, that he does sight aggro me. So that could be an issue. Alright, that seems to be the limit of where he walks. Appears. It appears. We're going to have 3 minutes now to decide whether or not we fight another one or we leave. And I feel like I've lost a lot of XP already tonight, but I'm going to go for it. Hey, I got an air tank. Alrighty. So now we're not worried about any of that stuff because this is rare and we absolutely cannot have a second one. So we're going to leave this Cthulhupas, tell him, thank you for your service. You are free to go, and we're going to rest our MP right here. Alright, we got an air tank. Awesome. So we are not going to be able to attempt Bugbear Matman, unfortunately, because we don't have our 2-hour up, so that's not in the cards. But I thought about giving it a shot at some point. If I can kill it, if I can test if I can kill it, and then maybe next time I'll farm another air tank and then try to get out there for the stream next week just to see if we can do it or not. We want to get out of here before respawns happen, so let's roll. Well, let's see, how far are we right now? We're not that far. We could probably hoof it to Mahora, so maybe we'll try that. Yeah, we'll do that. It's not a long run. Not a long run at all. Now, I'm wondering if people sell these on the auction house, or, you know, if they're even, like, available on the auction house. I don't know if they can be sold. I assume that they can. I don't see why not. But I did not even think to see how much they might go for, if they do sell in the auction house at all. Let's see. Air tank. No. None have ever sold on the auction house. I wonder if they can be put on the auction house. let's go to the wiki. I've already got the page open, so let's see. Cannot be sold to NPCs, cannot be auctioned, traded, bazared, or delivered. Okay, so you have to obtain it yourself. It's so weird how they select what stuff follows those rules and what doesn't. But in this case, I'm okay with that and properly. So this is a great, this is a really good camp for Beast Duo. 73 to 74, 75. There are some tropical ray rabs in this area that you can go along with. There's also, you can actually start a little earlier if you want to use the Tragopans. They go all the way down to level 71. So if you're playing on Eden and you're more of a Beast Duo kind of guy, or even a trio, you could come out here and you can duo the goblins that are back there. They are level 72 to 75, so you can start at 71 and solo a few of them. But if you want to jump into duo, use the Tragopans and go straight for the Cthulhupas. And they range 76 to 80. So yeah, some of their levels are kind of rough, but as a duo, it works pretty well for Beast. And you can even do it as Summoner. I was partying with a level 74 Summoner just last weekend, actually, and he was trying to get to 75, and I said, hey, let's go make a little XP, and we were getting about a little over 4K an hour doing that. So it's not ideal, but it's certainly a spot you can come if you want to. I keep thinking, you know, I got to add stuff to my duo camp section, and honestly just haven't gotten around to it yet. I do have Tragopan versus Cthulhupas 71 to 73 on there, so I suppose I've already confirmed that particular camp. But Biki Bay was a very good area that they added in COP, and it follows that sort of COP formula of having like a low level area and a high level area sort of in the same spot. The original, you know, they do that with Soja. There's like 40 cap, 50 cap, 60 cap, then uncap. But they do that with a few of the areas in COP, just to kind of have a mix of players, like in an area, like I guess spread out server load. I don't know what their thought process exactly was back then, but it worked. It was really interesting, you know, for you to go to a zone and kind of spend a little time at the beginning of the zone, leave for a while for, in some cases, 20, 30 levels. In the case of Biki Bay, almost your entire level range. Like there's like a 40 level gap between the XP areas there. The original Rise of the Zillet areas were more about staying in a zone for a while and creeping your way in. So when you look at Gustav Tunnel, there's sort of a linear progression of the mob levels there. Boyata Tree is another very linear progression of the mobs there. Romaev, the entire Tulia region is like that, you know, designed more for the end game stuff. So once you get to 50 plus, you know, you're spending a lot of time in these areas if you choose to. And COP kind of divided you a bit more between XP areas. So really interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. The way that they designed COP, I like it. I like it a lot. I think they did a great job in designing the areas of some of the areas of COP. Man, did I hate the missions. I could not stand the missions. But in any case, we have obtained the item that we want, an air tank. I have to do a pet food check, but it looks like we're doing okay on pet food. Let's see. We've got some in the storage there, and we've got some in the inventory here. So we are okay. So again, we don't have a whole lot on the to-do list. It's 9 o'clock, and we're going to be here for another hour or so doing some Final Fantasy XI. Let's get to Mahora here so we can change our sub job and warp to another area. How's Link Shell doing? Got a few people on tonight. Man, we really just made it with that air tank, too. We really did. Like, we were debating whether or not we were going to be able to kill one more mob with the rest of the familiar timer. And turns out we didn't need to. So, that was great. That was really, really clutch there. Let's warp out of here. Ooh. The dog is asleep, thankfully. So I'm going to take a quick peek over at the Eden Wiki and the Notorious Monster level guide here. And just see if there's anything that we haven't camped in a while that maybe we want to try and pop here. I've been checking on Bloodsucker pretty regularly. That one hasn't popped up just yet. I don't exactly know when King Arthur's due. I feel like it's possible that we missed it. Not like recently. I just don't know. Not going to camp Valcom Emperor, that's for sure. I already have an Emperor Hairpin. I don't need that drama in my life. Let's see. Someone pinged me on Discord. I wonder who that could be. Ah, yes. Okay. I gotcha. Let's see. We can check Ostrosia. Ostrosia is always a fun camp. It looks like it's very possible that neither of the NMs there are being camped at the moment. So we could try that out. Yeah, there's always options when you're getting out to Ostrosia. You can spend a whole lot of time teleporting and chocobooing, or you can Argani warp and then walk out there if you have the outpost. And I find that they're kind of both the same speed. There's no great way to get to Ostrosia at this era of the game. The Chocobo is nice, but you gotta wind your way through Marifatad Mountains to get there. And of course, you have to go through part of Taronga Canyon first, so it's like 1.5 times the distance of walking, but you're going 20% faster on the, or 25% or 50% faster on the Chocobo. So I feel like it just kind of evens out in the end. This way, you spend a little more money on the teleport if you spend Gil. You're probably only going to spend 200 on the Chocobo if you can teleport yourself. It's just like, this game is full of these like silly decision points all the time. And I usually go this way, but there's been times where I've gone the other way, just because I've been at May and been like, let me go camp me Deggy. Why not, right? I mean, what harm is it gonna be? Bosadine, yeah, no, Bedeau has that Valkyrie mask NM. That's always fun. Unfortunately, it's really, really crappy drop rate. I think I've killed it like 6 times. It's a pain in the ass to spawn, first of all. It's the kind of thing that I try to pop when I can be on for a couple hours, but I'm not going to be paying any attention to my screen. So I kill the placeholder, and then maybe I come back at like 20 minutes later or whatever and kill the placeholder again, or if the NM's there, I kill it. Like, there's very few people that ever go out to Bedeau to camp it. I feel like people have lost hope in that drop rate. It's so bad. And the NM, just the lottery percentage on the NM is just terrible. Like, it's like 5% or something, man. Because there was a stretch where I was like off and on. I think I logged in early at work, didn't have any patience, and I killed the placeholder like twice while I was just doing morning calls and stuff. Then I came back after a couple of patients, and then lunch I came back, and then right before work before I left I went back, and I got home and logged on the computer, and I was like, this thing has taken like 12 hours to spawn. Like, there's no way I missed it, because there literally was never anybody in the zone. But I did drive home, so it's possible that I missed it, except that it spawned like an hour after I got home. So I feel like, no, there's no way that I missed it, and then it just happened to spawn at a high percentage. Like, you know, sometimes the easiest answer is the best answer, and the easiest answer is no one was here. So, see, we're almost already there. This is the kind of thing I really should just come out on Ninja on at this point. But maybe I'll do that when I get to 75. Just to have the evasion and shit. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I really want to camp. Last stream, I remember we started off with an Aquarius, a D-cloth in the pool, and I think before that we started off with a set of leaping boots. So we've done pretty well in terms of making cash this way. I have I said earlier I spent a lot of time in Sea Serpent Grotto. Not as much lately. I've definitely been more often at Lizzie or Valkurm, Emperor, or out here in Ostrosia than I have been out in Sea Serpent Grotto. But there was a good 2-week period where I spent the majority of my camp time in Sea Serpent Grotto. And I got a couple of Southern Pearls and some really small money items out there. A decent amount of NPC money from the leeches there, doing that in between NM spawns. I was trying to pop Nav the Whitehearted and Paw the Gull Color, and they're pretty easy to move between because the doors for them are kind of adjacent to one another. As long as you, and this is why I always carry a Mithril Beast Coin and a Gold Beast Coin in my inventory, so I can go down there on a whim and kind of camp stuff. But man, I tell you, I've never gotten Nav to spawn on the server. And I have spawned Paw the Gull Color 3 times. And it, again, is another one of those mobs that takes hours to spawn. I don't know why. I really don't know why. And one of the kills that I have for Paw the Gull Color, I walked up and he was already there. There was a group camping Nav, and I guess him, and they all like went AFK for a while, and Paw spawned. So I guess I killed it, because when I went to Nav, I killed the placeholder, and then they showed up, and they looked at me like, oh, we were here, and then we AFK'd or something, and yeah, they missed out, is what I'm saying. Yeah, they really missed out. But I never got Nob to spawn. I never saw them. And the reason I've been camping those is for Siren Terrors, because you don't see them on the auction house very often. They do drop off Suzaku in Sky, and I'm sure a few other things that I'm not thinking about, but I know that they're a low drop rate regardless, and I feel like they would probably fetch somewhere like 300 to 400k, but the amount of time spent camping those NMs is hardly worth 300 to 400k when you can go and camp Leaping Boots and get that sucker to spawn every hour and take a shot at getting 500k on this server. So, and obviously you don't need to be as high level. You don't need to travel to freaking Sea Serpent Grotto. Like, you don't need sneaking invis. You don't need a Mithril Beast coin. You don't need to pop. You don't need a placeholders that take 16 minutes to respawn. Like, dude, it's just crazy. You know, effort put in for something like that doesn't equate to the money. I mean, if you told me that a Siren Terror went for 1 million gil, I might live out in Sea Serpent Grotto, but I don't know, man. I think there's also like, hey, would I just take a chance on getting, you know, 2 pairs of Leaping Boots? Wouldn't that just make more sense? I mean, I could do that much more relaxed, right? So, yeah. I feel like that's what I'd do. I don't actually know what's going on here. Is someone killing this stuff? Because if he's killing this stuff, he's killing the wrong stuff. All the interrogators have apparently died, or most of them have apparently died. You know, I've camped this mob a lot, and I've watched people who kill the placeholders at sporadic times, others who kill the placeholders like in a row. Like, I've seen so many different patterns to me Deggy like strategies, and I gotta tell you, the easiest one is just to kill all the damn placeholders in a row, okay, and not be concerned about anything else. So we just killed the first drummer at 12:58. So we're going to come back in 24:28, and that's what I'm going to denote in my log here, and that's going to be Deggy side. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. It's 26:28 on the Deggy side. So we're gonna let's see, the drummer died at 12:58, right? So we're gonna add 13 minutes, which is 25:58, and then add 30 seconds, which is 26:28. So that's accurate. All right, so if we're looking at the zone, I know that X and Caliber are usually farming something elsewhere. This guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy are all at Midegi, which means only Volan is unaccounted for. So, oh, and these two, but they're too low level to be camping. So, let's go see what's on the other side, and I have a feeling it's going to be that dude. So we might have one camper on the other side, and I'm okay with that. So my wife asking me if we need mop juice. Mop floor crap. No, we don't. We're good. Alright. So yeah, I'm thinking Volan's over here. Or Volan or the whatever the other guy's name is. Veru is in my one of my LSs. I don't know what he's doing here exactly. Find out in a sec, I guess. Well, he's either here or he's not. That's kind of how it goes, though he's a black mage, so I don't think he's going to be here. And it looks like all of these placeholders are already cleared. Oh, Veru is here. I see, I see. So the herald on the wall. Uh-huh, and here's the other two. This place is busy tonight. Very, very busy, which is unusual. Very unusual. Well, I guess I'm leaving. Let's go back over to the other side here. We've got a bunch of time to kill here. 26, 28. It's not really that fun. Don't run in front of me. I swear Mob AI does that on purpose. I really think that's what happens. I really, really do. Cure clogs. Bonacon might be an interesting one. We could do a price check on those. What's that sound? Uh-huh. Let's see. Cure Clogs sell for literally 30K. Bonacon, it's not worth going after. A lot of these people are here for money, basically, so I do not have an issue. With camping against people that are here for money, because I'm here for money. I know Kuro already got his drop. Because we chat periodically. And I was in his Discord, so I know he got his drop already. But the other thing I also know is that the respawn timer is at 26:28, so I have some time to kill. So one of my goals is overall, I guess, is to just be able to fill out some duo camps for pet stuff, and I haven't really had too much time to do it. I started leveling Ninja and thought to myself, yeah, you know, let's do that instead, and whatever. And that's really eating away. That's really eating into most of my time. Like, leveling up kills your time. Like, it's a full-time job when you're on a game like this to, level up. And I am not the kind of person who really likes to XP that much. Like, I like doing it on Beastmaster because I was by myself and I could, turn it off and on at sort of when I wanted to. But since having a level like a real job, it's, I say a real job is like Beast, not a real job. I mean, an end game sort of viable job, and it's tough. It's tough when I don't really like doing it that often, and you feel like, well, the only way to get to level 75 is to XP, and just grind. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Telling me like I don't know. Bro, I'm leveling Ninja. I know how much it costs. It's expensive. And you go through a lot of freaking Shihai. Tons of it, in fact. 26, 28. So, yeah, we're going to start seeing some pops here. I hope he kills it, because I'm trying to be courteous now, you know, and not kill the mobs that I want to die. But I also just want the damn thing to pop, so we gotta hurry up and kill some of these mobs a little faster, in my opinion. These are all oracles. Now, there was, let's see, the interrogator over here is dead. The drummer, the interrogator, yeah, so, yeah, all the mobs are down now because I killed the 4 drummers. So we're going to look at a first time of death here, which is Kurganashi actually killing the interrogator. And we're going to add, let's see, that's 3944, which makes 4014. And we're going to just mark it as an interrogator. We know that it is the east side. Oh man, it is so warm in this house right now. I was going to watch the debates tonight. It turns out I was like, you know, I think I'll stream instead. Makes a little more sense because it's Thursday. I can always catch the debate tomorrow, like at lunch or something. It is 2 hours though, so I'm going to have to figure out when I can actually watch it, I guess. So, I actually like what Kuro's doing. It's very interesting whenever you come out here to do Midegi or Kudomi, killing the heralds and the interrogators are just so much money. You're going to get a lot of tekos and wool slops and stuff like that. Those are worth around 2,000 almost a piece. And the soil sitabaki are like 2,800 a piece, so it's good cash. Like it's pretty good money to just like come out here and kill these mobs, but they're also placeholders for NMs. So there's gonna be people who like. There's definitely other places to be killing these mobs other than just in this room. There's a lot of them scattered all throughout this first floor of Ostrosia if you go and find them. And it's decent money. I mean, you could walk out. I think I've done like a full day on like a Saturday camp out here, and you will walk out of here with about 50K if you include things like Strider swords and the impact knuckles. If you get the NMs a couple of times, you might even walk out of here with more than 50K. I think I've done about 70 to 80K. Plus, if you get a drop, it really increases your money quite a bit. So, it's 40:14, so we're still waiting about 7.5 minutes or so here for the placeholders to start coming back up. The first interrogator is going to be over there in the northeast section of the room. That's where we killed the drummer too. It's Alright, he's going after the heralds. I don't really care about those guys. I'm waiting at 40:14 for that interrogator to come up. I killed the one on the top here, I believe, at some random time. Oh, no, I killed it last in the rotation, right? Let's check that out. Let's see. Go to the first tab here. I think the interrogator is what I killed last. He killed an interrogator last. Yeah, I did too. Okay. There's another herald, a herald. Yeah, I don't care about those guys. Now, I'll tap my rest button a lot or my heal button a lot, because I'm doing a timestamp check, and that's generally how I do it. If the log's not moving, I don't know what time it is. So I end up tapping that quite a bit. I'll always rest to do it, because there's really no other button you can press while you're standing to do it other than like Dia, and I'll have to Obviously, I have to be at a distance so I don't actually cast Dia on the mob itself. So, but we're still waiting another 4 minutes or so on the drummer. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Uh, 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Oh yeah, that one's off timer as well. I'm gonna have to be a little vigilant about this because he did kill one. He did kill that one. Also, out of cycle. So if he waits, I can't tell him to wait. He's gonna kill the placeholders. As he's gonna kill him. I mean, there's no. It is what it is. For me, it's a rhythm thing. I like to go around in a circle and kill all of the kill them all in order, like clockwise, and then stand on the platform. And as they spawn, when I see that one is missing, I'll know it's up somewhere. Usually, it's right behind me because I'm looking at 3/4 of the map, and I'll be like, "Oh, I don't see it, so it's behind me," and then I'll know. So that's what I do. Still talking about 2 more minutes here. Yep. Yep. Just sitting here camping me deggy. Placeholders are going to start spawning again in about a minute and a half. Let's see. Yep. Minute and a half. 40:14 is when they start to respawn, and they're going to start respawning from this corner over here where the meat maggots are. So I've got to be vigilant. Oh, I've claimed this damn thing so many times. Actually, this is one of the few NMs that are on my hit list that I have not gotten the drop from. I got the Fumas a couple of days ago, or a couple weeks ago, when I was basically living out here for about 10 days. It was a real pain in the ass. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing. It's a thing again on this server. Alright. This guy is busy fighting a crab for some reason. I don't know why that is. Alright. About 30 seconds or so. $20 seconds. Alright, 10 seconds. Here we go. They're going to start spawning again. I'm going to have to keep up with the guy who's running down here in case it spawns off the first placeholder. But it doesn't look like it did. So an interrogator and a drummer is over here. The next drummer is going to spawn over here. That's the drummer. And then the next one's going to be over here. So I should just kind of be anywhere except over there. But we'll see how it goes. That dude has like ADD, man. There's the drummer. And the last drummer spawns over here. So there it is. Alrighty. Let's get my pet to boomerang to me. Doesn't want to for whatever reason. Oh, is it on fucking stay? Yeah, it was. Yeah, $15 is a high price. This server is no cost. This is a private server. Like I had a hard enough time justifying paying like the $12 legacy price per month on Final Fantasy XIV, and that was obviously a newer MMO. Just couldn't keep interested in it after Heaven's Word. Came back to Final Fantasy XI just about 4 months ago. And this is a very interesting server. It's an era server stuck in the 2007 era of this game. So all of the Real Money Trader any of the Real Money Trader stuff has been rolled back. So all of these NMs drop their regular, just rare version or non-rare, non-AX version. So everything here is money, money, money. And that's what I'm here for. Make money off them cotes. Alright. So let's look back in the log here. So Black Wolf defeated an interrogator. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mobs have been killed. There's one more placeholder that hasn't respawned yet. There it is. Right there. Let's go get it. Courier Carry basically one-shots these things with big scissors, so there's no point. Alright, so all 8 of them are down over the course of about 3 minutes. So the next one... Let's see. So it's going to be 57-13 is when they start spawning again. 57-13. All right. So let's see what's going on. Veru's still here? Yeah, he is. So he's camping Kudomi because it was very busy over here. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Where's Courier Carry? Where is she? There she is. Kill this thing. Bam. Boom. Alrighty. So yeah. There ain't a whole lot to wait for now. To see now, we just gotta wait for things to respawn. And that's that. But Eden is a good server. It's got a lot of great support. The staff are pretty good, in my opinion. As people have mixed feelings on the staff, but I talk often with a variety of the staff members, and in fact, they sometimes reach out to me for questions related to Beastmaster stuff. So there's a few devs that have spoken to me about what was era retail behavior on leave and charm and stuff like that. And this most recent patch, a lot of the feedback that I personally provided was taken into account. Feedback that I did through bug reports and also through just being asked in DM about stuff. So the staff really do care and reach out to the people that they feel, I guess in some way, are knowledgeable about the job or play the job passionately or something like that. So that's cool, you know, to be, I guess, recognized for that, but also just to just to talk to the staff and not feel like there's a separation between players and the developers. They're very much active on Discord. Not all of them. To an extent, some of them are more talkative than others. Certainly, the GMs and player characters are a little more talkative than others because they sort of spend a lot of time in the community itself playing the game. And the developers who work on the code in the back end, a little less perhaps sociable because they're doing what they're volunteering to do, which is make the game better and look at the GitHub and the issues that are reported and work on fixing the problems that exist on Eden. But yeah, it's good that Beast right now, I think, is pretty much 99% of where it needs to be in terms of Arrow retail. This job pretty much, I would say it's 100% functional right now. There are maybe some little things that they could fix here and there with it. But it's less about the job specifically and more about more global things like the enmity scale and stuff like that. Although they're using Keiko's error values, which is great. And so far, I haven't seen anything that's too weird where I was like, oh, wow, that's definitely not how that works. But there's stuff like if this courier carry engages in a battle with a notorious monster, and then, let's go with, scratch that. Let's go with a charmed mob because that's the only time it makes sense. If I charm a mob and I engage with a monster, and my mob is about to die, I can use leave on the mob and go grab another pet, right? I can do a pet swap. Now, if for whatever reason I need to go back to the first pet that I was using, like in a rotation, the pet's hate is preserved through the battle. So if I use pet A, leave it, then use pet B, and pet B starts building hate on it, and then leave that pet, and the mob comes after me, and then recharm pet A, the mob will basically beeline towards pet A because the enmity table that it had is preserved until the mob itself dies. So stuff like that is something that needs to be fixed. Mobs should not be preserved in their enmity table. Sick charges also similarly are preserved through leave and stay and battles and all that kind of stuff. So if I tell my pet to fight and I use the sick command, which is going to use a random weapon skill when it hits 1,000 TP, but the mob for whatever reason dies before it has 1,000 TP, and then sick completely cools down, I fight another mob and hit sick again, it will use 2 weapon skills in a row because the first sick will fire off and then the second sick will fire off. And it'll use the same TP pool of 1,000 TP plus to do it. So that's a little bug that needs to be fixed. Stuff like that doesn't break the game because it's first of all, it's very rare that I'm going to actually not have TP in 2 minutes, just stuff like that. It doesn't hurt the nature of the game, but it isn't original to the game itself. So I would like to see it fixed. And I did report a bug about that, but it wasn't top on the list. Another thing is wide scan. So if you're seeing these red dots in the bottom right here, I should not be seeing those red dots. Okay, all these mobs here. So wide scan is broken. A little bit broken on the server. It should not be that way. So it's just small little things. Again, nothing that makes a job unplayable. The developers are shooting to make this game as bug-free as possible. And I think thus far they're doing a pretty damn good job of that. I've played Warrior, I've played Ninja, I've played Beast now. Beast is certainly more complex than any of the jobs I played, but they all work swimmingly well. There's nothing really too bad about it. I have heard some things about blue balancing not being so great on the server. Some people are complaining that there's some blue spells that they either aren't taking blue magic skill into account, or their stat modifiers are not functioning at the proper percentages, or their accuracy is bad, things like that. And a lot of these problems are due to the cryptic nature of the way that Square Enix differentiated between things that were basically the same, okay? So earlier we talked about evasion skill and evasion and how they're kind of basically the same thing. One converts into the other essentially, but for some reason in the formula they sort of come in a different place. Um, Things like elemental magic skill and magic accuracy, or enfeebling magic and magic accuracy, like one basically begets the other. So there's a lot of like weird shit like that, and that is why trying to emulate a retail server is really in part so difficult, because Square Enix did not give us the descriptions for how these things work. We don't exactly know how magic accuracy should be different than skill, other than checking levels and stuff like that. Like, we don't know how it should not, we have a general idea, but there's not a lot of precision to it. It's really good educated guesses, but it's not an exact science. But again, stuff like that will affect certain jobs more than others. I think mages have it kind of tough in some cases on the server, just because of weird formulaic stuff like that. Accuracy is a lot simpler to formulate in this game. That was something that we could figure out much earlier on. But magic accuracy and skill and that stuff, it's tough to differentiate it all. And we've got a lot of viewers here tonight, which I'm glad to see so many viewers. Usually I get about 10 or so it's good to see that we have 7 or 8 here. My name is Ashton in the Final Fantasy XI Eden private server, but I go by Gray, and I'm the community manager for the Impact Gaming community. We've been around for over 9 years, and we're doing, this year, we're doing really well. We've got a lot of revenue streams. We have a lot of giveaways. We have Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy XI, tabletop gaming, which is D&D, Call of Cthulhu, like all this tabletop stuff, and we have Rocket League as well. So a variety of games, and we're always looking to add more games and bring in new talented leadership and people who are interested in expanding not only the genres of our community, but also the player base, the personality, the conversation, all that stuff. We've certainly been down many roads in our 9 years with a variety of games, from FPS stuff to MMOs to MOBAs, all kinds of stuff. So it's been a great time, and I've been the community manager the entire time, and certainly haven't done it by myself along the way. I've had administrators and officers come and go over the years. It's really great. It's good to feel supported and have a good group of people to play the game with just every single day, whether it's this game or a different game. Alright, so that interrogator is up, and then I started killing interrogators over on this side. I think the first thing I killed was... yeah, okay. We're going to have to stay frosty here, because there's stuff coming in. But we started killing in this corner. It's kind of the corner we expect things to start popping in. I don't know where that paladin that was running around went. Black Wolf? Oh, he logged out or something. I'm fine with that. It's weird. I didn't think that stuff was supposed to start popping now. Yeah. You're good old drummer, though. There's the interrogator and the drummer that I killed. So this stuff should start popping in cycle now. There's the drummer, there's the interrogator. The next drummer is going to pop over here. If it doesn't, it'll be me Deggy, but we'll see. You always got to keep your eye on stuff. This is a camp that's really difficult to do by yourself. Very difficult to do. Alright, so there's one more interrogator that's going to spawn over there. And then we will start the killing all of these freaking mobs again. We'll see how that goes. And then there's the interrogator on the platform here too. That we also have to kill. There's the interrogator on the platform. Waiting for that one interrogator back there to spawn. And then we can start to move along here. Me Daggy, where are you? I know there was a big delay between killing that interrogator and the other mobs. So I'm not even looking at my log right now. There he is. Okay. So let's start by killing the interrogator up here. Alright. I want to kill the drummer over here first, actually. I don't know where the heck it went, though. Did it wander? Yeah, it wandered over there. So I have to go after it. So we killed the drummer, the interrogator first this time, so we'll do the same over here. We'll kill the interrogator first to keep it consistent. Where's my courier carry? Let's get this drummer back here. Is there ever much competition? You know, it's varied. I've come here and there's been nobody, and I'm able to get it pretty easy. And then, you know, other times where there's people like this, there's a lot of people, like 3-4 people. Yeah, it's pretty mixed. I'd say on average, you're going to find at least one other person here. On average. There really could be nobody. I mean, that's happened to me before. In fact, I was out here, I was saying earlier, I was out here for about 10 days in a row once, trying to get my fumas and my stuff. Yeah, people came in and out, but it's mostly the same people. People, you know, people who are here for the drop, they'll just leave after they get it. They don't come back for money. It's a lot of okotes, dude. But you've after people have endured this long enough to get the drop that they want, they kind of like don't come back. So you don't see a lot of repeat campers here. You're gonna see people who aren't even ninjas camping it for money, because that just kind of makes sense, I guess, you know. And right now the okote on Eden is worth about $1 mil or so, and the fumas are about 400, 500k. So let's go back up here. Yeah. Where's the Oracle that we killed. Oh, we're looking for the interrogator. 5741. Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's about the same here. So 5811 plus 13 is 1111 or so. So the next spawns are going to be around the 11th minute. And I actually got to kill them in the order that I wanted them this time. So and Veru said he killed it about an hour ago. So if that is this guy has gravity on him or something. So if that's the case, then it should be due to spawn right about now. Yeah, this dude's got gravity on him. I don't know where the heck he would have gotten gravity. I guess the wind elemental cast it on him or something. Let's see. Yeah. I'm like, where the heck did he get gravity? No, I don't use the Okote for ninja either. Actually, I bought one of the Horomusha Kotes instead. It was half the price here and made more sense to have. I just want the attack. I don't want evasion down. So, not that evasion really matters. I mean, let's be fair here. To be fair, doesn't really freaking matter. XP mobs are going to hit you. They're like 12 levels above you. They're going to hit you. I mean, you know, it doesn't really make a difference. But for me, it was just money. I'm like, I couldn't get the Okotes. You know, I said, oh, I'm going to buy whichever one I don't get. Because they were, you know, I knew that Kote was 500k. Fumas were like 400k. So I got the Fumas, and I was like, well, the Horomushas are 500k less than Okote. So I'll just spend 500k on that. And Leaping Boots on this server are 500k, so I had gotten a couple of pairs. And I just said, you know what? Trading a pair of Leaping Boots for a Horomusha Kote sounds like a thing that I would do gladly. So I did. Thank you guys for the follows tonight. We've got 3 follows tonight. So, yeah. You know, and the reason for that, well, not the reason, but one of the contributing factors to that is just the way we have level sync implemented on Eden. It's not restricted, like from what I understand it is on Nasomi. You can sync whatever, you know, you can be level 60 and sync down to the dunes. So a lot of people spend most of their time like in really low level areas leveling up until they break into the 50s. So Leaping Boots maintain their value on a lot of jobs. So they are a lot of money. A lot of money. Emperor Hairpin, it just hit 400k this week. It was certainly going for less before. I think it was like 300k, 350, and then now it's over 400k. And it's kind of the same sort of half dozen people that camp it for money all the time. I was lucky enough to get my drop a couple days ago, or a few days ago, maybe a week ago. I don't remember. The days all blur together. But I wanted it for my ninja, and I didn't get it till my ninja was like 63 or 64. So, you know, again, doesn't matter. Mobs hit you, even with the hairpin. You know, maybe you evade like 2 less attacks in an hour. It's really not even that good. Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of new players on Eden for sure. There's always people joining the Discord, so you can always tell kind of when new accounts are being created. You know, and I'm sure only like 1 out of every like 5, maybe 6 people even join the Discord. So if we get like 10, 20 people over a weekend, you know, there's a good chance that we got another 100 players on the server somewhere. You know, and those people could just be testing it out. They might be veterans, you know, friends of friends. Who knows? But certainly the population here is growing very quickly. Low-level gear, in terms of crafting, moves very fast. But the trade-off is that it's really hard to find high-level stuff. So, You know, as I got up in level in ninja, it was harder and harder to find the +1 katanas and stuff. Like after you get past 40, like no one crafts stuff because most people expect you to just sort of level ninja sub and that's it. So there's very very few uh, katanas that are HQ out there. You know, you'll find somebody who's skilling up on a particular katana, so there'll be like 50 of them on the auction house, but not a single HQ in sight. So, you know, it has its ups and its downs. Well, man, you can always come on over here, you know. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people on the server that are coming over from Nasomi, and I tell you, the devs here really do care. They really do. I mean, I personally receive DMs from devs about job changes for jobs that I'm passionate about. It's like Beast. I had a lot of feedback for Beast, and they implemented it all, and I'm really glad that they did, and they fixed all the little bugs that this job had, you know. And I would love for there to be more veterans of certain jobs to be able to come in and just say, all right, you know, we're going to fix this about Thief, or we're going to fix this about this job, you know, and whatever. Because I think that'd be really awesome. Yeah, man. Listen, making Gil is easy. Like I just said, kill Leaping Lizzie at level 15 and get 500k. Like it's not. Yeah, making Gil ain't that bad. I mean, I'm an NM hunter by trade, so Beast was definitely a #1 job on my list, and it's the only 75 I have right now. And I've certainly been able to fund Ninja. I have a Scorpion harness and a hobby. Like, you know, I have pretty much, you know, pretty good gear. I don't bother HQing too many things. But, yeah, Gil's not that difficult to come by on Eden. So I think this may be the last spawn set that we're here for. I don't know. I don't really answer that question. I never played on Nasomi myself, so I have no idea. But I know it's good here. It's good here. I mean, for endgame, you probably, yeah. Uh, for endgame, yeah, definitely sub ninja. Absolutely. I mean, you need to. Can't really get away with anything else. I was an Aegis Paladin retail. Trust me, you can't get away with anything else. It's impossible. The damage calculation just doesn't work once you get to that H&M level. But I would say Paladin's pretty gets pretty pricey at the end game. There's a lot of if you want to maximize it, you know, there's a lot of crafted stuff that you need to get to really do a great job with it. Cure cheat gear is a whole nother set you need to work on in order to make Slash Ninja work. You know, it doesn't work out of the box like Ninja Dark. It's tougher to work on. All right, 80 seconds or so. We're gonna have some pops rolling in here. And they're going to start in this corner. Well, they're going to start at the top of the platform, actually. The interrogator up here is going to spawn first. That's a really ideal do box to start off. Yeah, it's a good one. My best friend actually started playing about a month ago, and yeah, that's what he's doing. His characters are Red Mage and Thief, and he just soloed his sub job the other day. He finally got him to 18 and soloed his magic skulls. Okie dokie. So we're going to be very diligent about this. A little more time here. I get real antsy as the time goes. Gets closer and closer to spawn. It looks like I'm the only person out here even camping, so... I know Kuro over there is farming. She's been AFK, and Veru... He knows the time of death, but he already gave it to me, so... The interrogator on the platform is going to spawn right there. And then we should start seeing some spawns, starting with the interrogator over here, actually. We killed him interrogator, drummer, interrogator, drummer. That's the order that we did them in. So there's a little bit of a delay because the pet took a while to get down there. There's the interrogator. The drummer will spawn next, and then they'll go around in a little circle. And so will I. There's the drummer. So interrogator will spawn by the meat maggots, or meat eggy will spawn somewhere. That's how it goes. And since I've cleared all the Yugudos, I will be able to see meat eggy very easily. Was kind of my goal. So if something pops out of place, I will immediately see it. So the drummer should spawn next over there, or meat eggy somewhere in this room. That drummer's kind of late. I wonder what's holding it up. There it is. There's the drummer. So there's a drummer, there's an interrogator, and there's a drummer. This is very difficult to do on your own. Stressful. Okay, and then there's a drummer over here. There's that drummer. And that's all of them. So, no spawn this round. And 2702 will be the next spawns. We did that one drummer interrogator, so we'll do it same thing over here. Alrighty, one more drummer. And we did them drummer interrogator. You have to remember that. So we did them in alphabetical order. Yeah, we killed the first one at 1332, so it's going to be 2702 on the respawns. Which I always put in my party chat like that. So, and then we'll go around and we will kill the other mobs. That's always good when Big Scissors misses on a mob that's like half the level of your pet. That's fun. I don't mind him missing only because it just puts a little bit of time between the last drummer spawning and the Oracle respawning. So it's another signal for like, oh, well, you know, Deggy might be up if you didn't see the... Although I'll know if he's not up. I will feel that out. I'll know for damn sure. It's not even a question. Oh, don't cast Utsutemi Ichi. You bastard. Almost got him before he cast it. No biggie. I will say this about Paladin. I think it's going to be difficult to level on this server. And I do want to do it at some point. Ninja is my current project. And then Dark Knight will be after that. And I just got that to 10 today to make it Dunes ready. But I feel like with all of the sort of optimization of party that I've seen happening on Eden, Paladin doesn't really fit in to that idea. So it might be a little rough to level up a Paladin. People certainly want ninjas in XP parties. Once you get into that like really good level of doing lots of TP burns, Paladin doesn't really fit the mold for any of that stuff. It's a shame because it's such a critical job at endgame for all sorts of stuff. But it just has a hard time, I think, busting into the XP scene. For a second, I thought that critter was my courier carry, or that cutter. Yeah, that was silly of me. Get up there, girl. All right, 27:02. So we're talking about 8-minute wait. And that's just how it's gonna be. So we began the stream by trying to make a merit point. We ended up getting about 1,000 XP, 1,100 XP, and then having a home point from a huge meltdown. 900 plus, I think, on that meltdown. So that sucked. Sucked real bad. And there's no reasonable way to approach something like that. You keep Stone Skin up, you keep Bar Fire up, and then you just kind of pray. I did not have Stone Skin up. I had 500 health. Chances are, even with Stone Skin up, I would have died. I definitely would have died. My Stone Skin is like 320, maybe at best. I had Regen up. I probably should have used Divine Seal in between battle to bring my HP up. I didn't do that. I didn't rest for HP. I thought, oh, let's just keep rolling, right, and doing this. And I didn't have re-raise up, so I definitely know what I did wrong in that case. I could have broke even on the re-raise, but I ended up home pointing. So shit happens. Shit happens. It's just how it goes sometimes on Beastmaster. And also the RNG of stuff like self-destruct or meltdown or any of those, or bomb toss, any of that stuff. Sometimes you just lose. This little bird that tweets out here in Australia is adorable. I don't know where he is, but he's a cool bird. So one of my big jobs in IGC are is keeping track of the financial stuff now. I had a development manager who was doing that for a little while, but he has retired, and I have taken over that task. And I had to really take inventory of what the hell they were. I don't know what the hell a bit is really at all, but I'm assuming. Let's see, Nightbug. That you take the bits and you divide it by 10 to get what it actually is worth. No, you divide it by 10 to get it in dollars. So we got 101 bits donated to us, which would be a dollar. No, divide it by 100. So it's 10 cents or 11 cents, 101 bits, right? 101 divided by 10 is no, it's $1.01. Yeah. And that was 5 days ago. We got some bits donated to us, so that was June 22nd. I'm just trying to keep track of this stuff in our documents spreadsheet here. Oh, this particular column should actually move down here. Okie dokie. All right. $27.02. That's when the first mob on the platform will spawn. All right, so he's leaving. We're going to start having spawns here in a minute and about 5 seconds. I'm really hoping that white mage, Mabui, this person is AFK and not AFK botting. Because then, if that's the case, then I literally have 0 competition. And I'm okay with having competition normally. I mean, it's fine. I'm getting really tired. So my reaction times are not going to be so great. I should just do this. Okay, so about 9 seconds. We're going to have the interrogator on the platform, or Midegi. There's the interrogator on the platform. We're going to let everything spawn completely. Drummer, interrogator, drummer, interrogator. That is the order of this right now. There's the drummer. There's the interrogator. And we're over here, we're looking for a drummer and an interrogator. In a perfect world. There's the drummer. The interrogator takes a little bit longer to kill because by the time I get to that fifth mob, the fourth mob, my sick timer is down, so I don't have it to do instant kill on it. And then that same problem continues as I go around. So same problem. Drummer, interrogator, and then the final drummer spawns over there. There he is. Yep. Okay. No spawn this time. That's going to be 42, 42.58. It's the next bunch of spawns. I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. I gotta fix that. We'll kill the oracles, and I think we'll leave up the heralds for the guy who's trying to farm them, I guess. It sounds silly, but they're such a pain in the ass to kill anyway. You gotta shoot through shadows and blah blah blah. I'd rather just not deal with them at all. The other oracle is by that tree over there. Easy peasy. Use D to strip a shadow here. There we go. Much quicker. So I left the heralds up because I'm not going to confuse them for me, Deggy. But the oracle's avatar, sometimes you'll look at that weird and be like, oh, that's a thing. Yeah. So, as usual, there is about 9 minutes to wait between these two. And there really isn't a lot much more to say that I haven't already said. If you're thinking about jumping back into a classic Final Fantasy XI experience, I would absolutely check out, check out Eden. It's a really good server. The devs are very, very responsive about fixing bugs, and there's a GitHub, there's a Discord where we all chat. There's regular maintenance on Mondays. There's a lot of perks to playing on the server. It's not going to cost you anything, obviously. The cost will come out of your soul directly, because you'll be playing an old school MMO that tells you absolutely nothing about how to actually complete things. You will have to go over to you will have to check out massive wiki pages that are and you'll have to scroll back in their history to 12 years ago to see where this server is stuck at, which is right around November 2007 era of this game. The level cap is 75. And right now, all of the nation missions are in the game. All of the Zealot missions are in the game up to Divine Might. And COP is somewhere in Chapter 5, I believe. You can do the Diablos fight. And then Charges About Urgon is just flagged up to the President Salahim mission so that you can get sanction for the base of like 3.5 hours. And that's it. So that's where Eden is right now. Every job works pretty dang well. The only one I hear really a lot of complaints about is Blue, but that is something that they are actively working on. The server is relatively stable. It has a pretty good uptime. I'd say it's up for probably 2 or 3 days at a time. Then it might crash for 5 minutes, and then they reboot it and it's back up and it's no problem. And it's not usually a full server crash either. It's usually just a couple of zones that might crash out on the same server. And they're pretty good at finding the bugs and critical fixes about why those things happen. So Eden has definitely been an interesting experience, very nostalgic in a sense. It's really brought me back to what this game was just before Wings of the Goddess came out. So you can see I appreciate the project. The effort's good. It's there. The effort is definitely there. I do apologize if you guys are seeing a scroll in on the side of the screen for D&D Beyond. We do have a very large D&D group on the server, in our gaming community rather, that uses fancy plugins on Twitch here, and I actually think it's pretty damn cool that they have cool shit like that. Oh, I think that was me clicking that by accident. Sorry, guys. Apologize for that. I was just checking my subs for the day. All right, 3 minutes. No, 42:58. So, yeah, 3.5 minutes. And then we're done. We're done. I'm gonna get a quick bite to eat. Probably hit the hay. Yep, 3 minutes from here. Alrighty. 2 minutes to go. These NMs, man, with their 13.5-minute respawn timer is just so long. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use Dia to claim here because it looks like Veru's back, and we know each other, but I don't think he's gonna be easy on me. So I don't mind some competition, that's for sure. I really don't. But I am falling asleep. I would like to get a small bite to eat just to satiate me a little bit. And drink of water. I didn't bring my damn water bottle up here. That's one thing that I screwed up today. I totally should have brought my bottle of water up here, and I didn't. And that was stupid. So I'm sitting here dying of thirst. All right, 30 seconds. All right, 6 seconds. There's the interrogator. All right. Here we go. Drummer and interrogator. There's the interrogator. Drummer and interrogator. Drummer. There's the interrogator. Should be seeing a drummer. There he is. There's the interrogator. And lastly, the drummer over there. Yep, there's the drummer. So, that's it for tonight. I think we're going to log out here, guys. I appreciate you guys giving me the follows and stuff. Guppy, thank you very much. So we'll be back. Probably, we might do something this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Good luck for those who want to play this game or want to check us out on any other nights. We do have other games, D&D, Rocket League, and Final Fantasy XIV coming up soon too. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.